Let's begin today's Vanguard news by actually praising Bushier Road for doing their homework and giving players good reprints in DZPS 01 to 03. Dual Knights probably got the most diverse range of reprints as it's the only premium stride deck set to contain Legion cards. This would be even better if it included a single copy of the V-Series Salome. The Revengers had the odd choice of reprinting the V-Series Drag Ruler when that slot could have been used for the subclan's Legion. Meanwhile, Dark Bond Trumpeter is nowhere to be seen, and thus ruining everyone's plans on doing 4 Vanguard attack turns. On a side note, it seems that Bushier Road changed the Revengers G-Zone ratio and now has 2 copies of Morfessor and only 1 copy of Drag Ruler Revenant. They really don't want new players to do 4 Vanguard attack turns, and are only allowing old veteran players with older cards to do so. Musketeers are hilariously 99% filled with V-Series cards. It's like Bushier Road knows how bad the originals were. And can we take a moment to laugh at how the only D-Series cards in these decks are their respective nations over triggers and a copy of Elementaria Sanctitude. Bless Favor finally got reprinted in a deck set that isn't English exclusive. Each premium stride deck sets will also contain 4 copies of each force markers as well as a copy of a Quicken Guardian Shield. The Musketeer set in particular will also contain 5 plant tokens. This is honestly the best product Bushier Road has ever created in a long time. Too bad it's for a format that 70% of the player base don't really care for due to the lack of a decent restriction list and actual tournament support. Vanguard will be doing a collab with Force of Will in Japan's Board Game Business Expo in which you can get these 2 promo cards by buying product in their combined booth. Out of all the competitor card game Vanguard could have collabed with, they chose the one whose unsold boxes are 6 feet under the card shop's stock room. Speaking of which, get those unsold Sol Ryron and Gandiva deck cores ready. Both decks are getting new stuff in DZBT02. Academic of Ingathering Harvesting when placed on rear guard lets you put up to 1 grade 2 or lower normal unit card that isn't a sentinel from your drop zone to either on top of your deck or into your soul if you have a grade 3 or higher Sol Ryron Vanguard. Besides this card setting up for Sol Ryron's skill, Drilling Angel can probably do this card's job better when it comes to putting a card into your soul from your drop zone and on your grade to ride turn no less ironically. Academic of Anatomization lectures while on rear guard lets you put himself into your soul at the end of the battle he attacked, and a normal unit was revealed by your Sol Ryron Vanguard's ability this turn to countercharge 1 damage. Then you draw a card if this card was placed on rear guard from your deck this turn. Who the hell names their child lectures? It's like his life was already set that he would become a scholar. Academic of Endeavoring a Foul when placed on rear guard lets you pay 1 counter blast if you have a grade 3 or higher Sol Ryron Vanguard to call up to 2 grade 3 or lower unit cards from the top 5 cards of your deck. Then reveal 1 card from your hand and put it on top of your deck if it's a normal unit, or discard it if it's not if you call 2 cards with this ability. Can we just take a moment to laugh at how Bushier Road is trying so hard to make Sol Ryron appealing to play by giving it cards that would normally be seen as too strong in other Keter Sanctuary decks? Flare Blow Dragon when placed on rear guard during your main phase lets you pay 1 counter blast if you have a grade 3 or higher Gandiva Vanguard to retire one of your opponent's rear guards. You call up to 1 grade 3 or lower unit card from the top 3 cards of your deck and discard the rest instead if you did not retire with this ability. Let me get this straight. Not only does this card not work with Alphaka, but it also doesn't contribute to Gandiva's stockpile on top of eating counter blast that are better reserved for the 2 mentioned units. Why the hell is this a Gandiva support? Finally, Dragritter Durgam when placed on rear guard lets you pay 1 soul and 3 energy blast if you have a grade 3 or higher Eugene or Gandiva Vanguard to retire one of your opponent's rear guards. You draw a card instead, and this card gets a once per turn auto ability that lets you stand one of your front row rear guards at the end of the battle your Vanguard attacked if you did not retire with this ability. And while on rear guard, he gets the boost ability if you played a normal order card this turn. Eugene and Gandiva continue their collab by training 1 unit both their techniques despite the fact that Durgam doesn't use a gun or a bow. Both decks finally get a new attack extender that actually encourages you to use Best Harvest And that concludes this Vanguard news without the bullshit. Special thanks to my Patreon members for continuing to support my content creation. Be sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments which decks should do a collab support next.